Deputy Assistant Secretary of State, Fox News contributor, USA Today columnist, all-around good liberal, Bob Beckel is here. He is the founder and editor-in-chief of my favorite conservative magazine, The American Spectator. Author of After the Hangover, Bob Tyrrell is with us, and she serves as the president and CEO of the Independent Women's Voice. Our friend Heather Higgins is back. By the way, my nickname, Rahm Rambo Deadfish, apparently stuck because he got a dead fish when he left office. A lot of questions about Rambo's eligibility, and now he films this "I'm glad to be home" video that he filmed in Washington, D.C. I'm glad to be home in Chicago, in Washington, D.C. Wants to run for mayor. You are going to challenge him, Mr. Tyrrell.
I am going to challenge him.
And does that mean you are announcing tonight?
I'm announcing tonight that I'm going to challenge him on the grounds of residency. My residency in Chicago is as good as his, and I've already got the New York Sun endorsing me. I guarantee you the Washington Times will endorse me before the week's out. I have papers behind me.
Are you running?
I am running.
You're going to run for mayor of Chicago?
I'm going to run for mayor of Chicago, and I'm going to focus attention on that Rambo has been a bully all his life.
He has been.
Which is funny because he graduated from a girls' college. And
let me ask you a serious question. Does he have eligibility problems? It appears a lot of the time.
On the surface, it appears to be, but it will be handled in the courts. Let's take a look at this race carefully. Emanuel does have a money base there. He's got an organizational base. And the other thing he will have is in my view, Daley will endorse him before the race is over. There are some Democrats, Congressman Gutierrez, for example, who has a large Hispanic following, I think will get out of the race. Jesse Jackson Jr. will not be in the race. So it'll be Emmett maybe versus Rambo.
No, it's Rambo.
And Tom
Deadfish.
Well, you call that. I call him a good politician and a guy who's organized and I think will win the race easily.
Heather, an interesting side note to this is even Mayor Daley suggested that if Rambo runs and he thinks Obama's support is going to help him, he's saying no way, it's not going to help him.
Certainly Obama's standing is not what it once was. But it is Chicago, and I think that we have to concede that this is not a place where normal rules apply. There's going to be all sorts of machinations behind the scenes. Those who want residency rules to apply as written, and those who want to use them as an excuse to make sure that this doesn't happen. Certainly one of the finest practitioners of the fine art of applying rules to their benefit was State Senator Obama. So we understand how the game is played, and it's a question of
I'm going to throw my case on the mercy of the court.
In Chicago?
In Chicago. I'm going to throw on the mercy of the court. And let's remember, Rambo is not very well liked by the people of Chicago.
Let nobody ever accuse you of not taking a long shot at things. That's all I can say. And by the way, the Sun endorsement is not going to do you a lot of good in Chicago. But listen, Chicago, there's a lot of people who are running in that race already who have talked about it. It will be whittled down fairly quickly. You have to now have a runoff, which you didn't used to have in Chicago. But the Daley machine is still alive and well. There's some aldermen who are going to run, by the way. That used to be all part of the Daley machine. But there will be enough, I think, for him.
Let me ask you this. All right, so we're now 29 days out. You are predicting that the Democrats lose the House of Representatives. Do you see any way that they can recover?
I think they are recovering a little bit now, but the real problem is in the Midwest. Any place along Highway 70. Pennsylvania, I see 5 seats in jeopardy. I see 5 seats in Ohio, 2 seats in Indiana. There are, and a couple of old-time conservative Democrats in the South who've been there for years, and also Ike Skelton in Missouri. Those are the races I worry about, but it is tightening up, and I will say this, that election in Delaware of that rather unusual person.
You're doing well.
I'm not going to say...
You are challenging Republicans. You want them to be more aggressive in terms of their promises to first principles.
That's right. The Independent Women's Voice has come out with something called the Repeal Pledge, which we're doing with American Majority. It has its own website, www.therepealpledge.com, and it's different from other repeal pledges in that we understand that there will be what is effectively a symbolic vote on repeal should the Republicans win the majority, but that's going to be vetoed. The question is, what are you going to do to slow the beast if you are serious about repeal? And so this is essentially what we would call a process-driven pledge. It is saying, put up or shut up. Show us that you are ready to walk the talk and that you are going to do all the things you need to do to defund, to deauthorize, to take this on. It applies applies to all candidates.
That's exactly the kind of
We gotta take
rhetoric
a break.
around
Hang on.
Medicare. It was the same thing around
When we
Medicare.